Welcome on in. It's Sports Memo Today. If it's Tuesday, you know it's time for a little SMT. I'm your host, Dan Alexander. Happy to be with you. Another two great experts coming up because here on Sports Memo Today, you learn a little bit more about these handicappers while getting that actionable info you know and love for free all along the way. Another great two-pack of guests. We got Dan Kaiser and Pavlos Laguretos coming on the show today. Dan is actually a part of that Triple Play Tuesday. You can get three different handicappers for just $5 at Sports Memo Today. You get Dan Kaiser, the Insider's Room, and also a 5% play, a WNBA special from Dion D'Amico. You can get that right now at SportsMemo.com. So happy to be with you. Let's get into it and bring in our first guest on the show today. Happy to welcome in a fellow Dan. So I know this guy's going to be bringing the heat. We got Dan Kaiser. Dan, what we like to do on this show is get to know you guys a little bit more. And so much of us in the sports betting space kind of got there either from fandom, either, playing sports growing up. So I'm wondering for you, it looks like you could do some damage on the mound, man. You ever play any sports growing up?
A little. When I was younger, when I was in high school, I did wrestle my last two seasons, and then to be honest, I was a little too small and probably a little untalented enough to carry it on to the Big Ten, where I went to school at Michigan State. So my career was over after 2 years.
Yeah, well, now we just wrestle down these sports books and try and get some money out of them. So it all ends up working out, Dan. And I know you're a big football guy, much like myself, and it's never too early to start talking football. I can't believe tonight, actually, we're recording here on a Tuesday, Hard Knocks for NFL starts, and the team that's going to be featured is the Detroit Lions. And you wanted to break down how you think they might roll a little bit that here into the start of the preseason. So for your first game you're going to break down today, we got Detroit in a preseason matchup here in week 1. So floor is yours, Dan.
All right. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I've had the unfortunate of being a Lions fan for most of my life. So, yeah, well, we did have Barry for a while. But, yeah, so and to be honest, I usually don't bet the preseason in the NFL. There's just so many different variables going on. But looking at this game, I feel like I do have a little bit of edge in this one. Both coaches have talked to each other and have agreed that their starters will play in this game. The Falcons have not committed to how long their starters will go, but the Lions have said that they will play their starters for at least the first quarter. You look at this Lions team, they weren't good last year, but they were one of the best teams against the spread in the NFL last season. And I think Campbell is trying to establish a culture here with this team. So I think he's going to come out and really go for a win here to, get him off on the right track. So I'm playing the Lions on the money line in this one at plus 100.
So some even money there on the Lions. Now, Dan, before we get into this second play, a week 1 NFL look for you, like the temperature around the Lions, like are people pumped up to see them on Hard Knocks, or like you don't really want the behind the scenes stuff? Like what's the kind of vibe around this team heading into being featured on this Hard Knocks show?
Yeah, I think the vibe I'm getting is a lot of people are they still, it's weird. We still have the hope that we're bad because we need a new quarterback. But there is a lot of excitement because they are young. They showed some stuff last season. I think some people think they're going to be good. Other people are hoping they're going to be bad. So it's kind of weird going into this season.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to be too good that you're not going to be filling some of those holes. Well, let's try and beat the number here on a little week 1 NFL play because that's half the battle. You get that closing line value. You're going to be hopefully profitable at the end of the year. So a little week 1 NFL action. Let's try and beat the number as San Francisco is laying a little chalk as they're on the road taking on the Bears. How are you attacking this one? Are we laying it with San Francisco week 1, Dan?
I'm laying it. I don't really have any faith in either of these quarterbacks, in Justin Fields or Trey Lance. But I do have faith in Shanahan and the 49ers brass to limit the opportunities for Lance to cause damage. And we've seen in the past with these 49ers teams, I mean, they got to the playoffs and they're advancing in the playoffs with only throwing the ball 14 times a game. So I think you'll see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of running with the 49ers, and the big Samuel in there as much as they can. And the word out of Chicago today is Roquan Smith wants out. He doesn't think they're respecting him with the contract offers. And if he goes, that's just going to cause huge problems to an already damaged Bears defense. I know it's kind of a big number for a first game, but this Bears team is just bad this year, and Fields has not looked good in practice so far. So I'm going to lay the 6.5 the first week and take the 49ers.
Yeah, saw a video earlier this year on Twitter of Fields just completely missing a wide open guy in the end zone. So sounded like how he looked last year, might be carrying over even after a summer. So Dan, you're one of the $2 Tuesday handicappers. What play do you have uploaded for tonight for prospective clients? What sport are you going in, and what else do you have up for your clients as we head on into football season?
Yeah, I've got to play up on the baseball game tonight. It's the last game of the night, the Dodgers Twins. Yeah, right now, to be honest, like I said, I don't do much football. So if you do see any preseason football, it'd just be a free play up for me. I'm starting to get into the college football scene, and you'll see plays starting to come up for the first week in the next week or so. But right now, I'm just heavy into baseball.
Love it, Dan. Well, for just $5, you can ride alongside Dan, the Insider's Room, and Dion D'Amico. Huge thanks to Dan Kaiser hopping on here, his maiden voyage on SportsMemo Today. We'll be talking to him as college football rolls around. Well, let's go from football to football, and we'll bring in our second guest here. We got Pavlos Laguretos. The women love him. The books hate him. Pavlos, it's finally nice to be on air with you, man. How you doing, brother? When he's not working on that Greek tan, he's beating up the books. Pavlos, like every time I talk with you, every time that I see you on different videos, you can catch Pavlos every Tuesday morning on Stoppage Time alongside Carmine Bianco, Kevin Dolan, Nick Borman as well. You're always talking soccer. You're always talking like these deep dives, beating red card props and things like that. So I'm wondering, like, I don't think I've ever heard you talk any other sport. Like, is soccer all you watch, all you do, or how is it just soccer all the time and partying on the weekends?
It's partying on the weekends for sure, but as far as sports I love the NBA. I also cap the NBA. I love player props. I'm not so much into side bets and totals because since the first pandemic or the COVID outbreak or whatever, there's a lot of players who they get rested a lot. Then you have players who catch the virus, and then there's a lot of rotation. So it's really hard. You see a lot of these weird blowouts. So I don't really get into totals and side bets. I just love my player props. Steals, blocks, rebounds, PRA, points, rebounds, assists, stuff like that. But all the other sports, not so much. Soccer is my best, like 80% and 20% NBA.
Love to see it, and you got a beard that can make my guy James Harden jealous. So I love it, Pavlos. Let's get into some plays here for the folks. And from listening to you on Stoppage Time every Tuesday, I know you love the BTTS. That's the both teams to score. And correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to have the love affair continue as you break down a French Ligue 1 play that goes on Saturday. Floor is yours, Pavlos.
That is correct. I love this is a prop bet that you can make. Of course, it's available in every sports book. It's called the both teams to score. Essentially, you don't care about the result. You just want both teams to get on the score sheet. If it's a draw, you don't care. If it's a win, home side wins, the away side wins. You don't really care. You just want both teams to get on the score sheet, and that's where we're going with our first play from the French Ligue 1. We're gonna take a look at the match between Monaco and Rennes. Monaco, they're actually playing right now as we speak in the Champions League qualifiers. They're losing, actually. They just conceded a goal to PSV. It doesn't really matter all that much. What matters is that they are playing today. And they're going to be not as fresh as compared to Rennes, who played last week. So the French Ligue 1 just started. Monaco, they started off with a win, 2-1 win on the road against Strasbourg. Of course, they were quite lucky there because they conceded a goal at the stoppage time, in the final 2 minutes of the match. But it was disallowed as an offside, so they dodged the bullet and they won in the Premier. The problem is that their defense is not operating all that good. They've kept just 2 clean sheets in 8 friendlies so far. So both teams to score is 8-2 in those 8 friendlies. And the 2 competitive matches that they played so far. And they now just conceded another goal against PSV. So their defense is not really good, but their offense is really good. They made some great additions in the transfer window. And so I'm guessing they will score against this Rennes side, who made a poor start in the season. They were actually huge favorites to win at home against Lorient, who are, they're a theoretically way inferior side. But here's the thing, Rennes lost by 1-0 thanks to an own goal, and I had Rennes to win, so just my luck. But still, this Rennes side is really, really good up front. I just want to say that they were actually much better in every statistical category in their 1-0 loss to Lorient this weekend. They should have gotten at least a draw, but this is soccer, sometimes it doesn't really work out. We're just looking at the stats, and the stats last season were amazing for Rennes. They had a very potent offense. They scored 82 goals in 38 matches. That's an average of 2.1 goals per match. However, their defense, they now have 2 new center backs, and there's a lot of gelling to be done, a lot of chemistry to be found, because it didn't really look that well in the season opener. So, and when you look at this, the head-to-head between the 2 sides, historically, both teams to score is 11-0 in the last 11 sides, in the last 11 matches between the 2 sides. And the over 2.5 goals is 11-2 in the last 13 matches, regardless of venue. So, we've seen the combination of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in each of the last 7 league matches between the 2 sides, and in 9 of the last 10. So here's what we're going to do here. We're going to take a same game parlay of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at plus 100.
There we go. The Pavlos Laguretos way of saying there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Over 2.5 goals. Parlay it with both teams to score. You can get that at even money. Talking soccer, though, everybody who's a soccer fan or football fan, if you like soccer, you like the EPL. And you love, diving in on a lot of these games. You even have a look-ahead spot here. This game doesn't go until Monday, so a major chance to beat the market on this one, Pavlos. I'll give the floor to you for this EPL matchup you got.
Yeah, this is a very interesting matchup in the sense that it involves Liverpool, who are one of the 2 main contenders for the title this season, and they made a bad start in the season. They played for a draw against newcomers Fulham. So this side, Fulham, they just recently promoted from the lower league, and they held Liverpool to a 2-2 draw. And not only did they hold them to a 2-2 draw, but they took the lead twice in that match, this Fulham side, and they made Liverpool's defense look kind of bad. But Liverpool, they came alive in that second half. They made 3 substitutions there at the start of the second half that really, really helped. Newest signing Darwin Núñez, who came from Benfica, he scored the first equalizer and he assisted the second equalizer for the final 2-2 draw. But still, it's a bad result for this Liverpool side. They're already behind. Their main competitors for the EPL title are Manchester City, and Manchester City won easily by 2-0. So now Liverpool dropped points. So they can't really drop points anymore, especially against this Crystal Palace side. And keep in mind that Liverpool were one of the most dominant home sides in all of European soccer last season. They went unbeaten in the entire season in the league with 15 wins and 4 draws. They scored 49 goals and conceded just 9. Those are insane numbers for soccer, and especially in the EPL. And now they're hosting Palace, who Crystal Palace are not, this Crystal Palace side has a lot of talent, especially centered around one of their players, Wilfried Zaha. And this player, he really wants out. Every other summer, he requests a trade. He doesn't get it. Then he throws a tantrum. He doesn't really play. When he comes back, he gets, yellow cards. He tackles a lot. He's supposed to be scoring goals, but his brain is messed up. So he's been wanting out of this team for many years. And this season also, Chelsea and a couple of other teams want him. So he's really gonna be distracted. And keep in mind that whenever Zaha is not playing for this Crystal Palace side, they somehow fall apart. It's a toxic relationship between Zaha and Crystal Palace, and I really hope it's going to be resolved soon. But last season, Crystal Palace were mediocre on the road, 4 wins, 8 losses, 7 draws. They scored just 23 goals and conceded 29. But how are they doing against Liverpool? Liverpool, they beat Crystal Palace in both matches last season by 3-0 and 3-1 respectively. They've now won 10 in a row against Palace. They've kept clean sheets in each of the last 4, and they won by 2 or more goals in each of the last 5. So I expect a bounce back by Liverpool here. They return at home. They're going to play the first home match of the season, actually. And Crystal Palace, just not very good on the road. The best player is at the brink of being sold. I think this is Liverpool all the way, maybe like a 3-0, 3-1 type of situation. So we're taking Liverpool minus 1.75 here at minus 128, which is essentially a split line between Liverpool minus 1.5 and Liverpool minus 2.
So potential bounce back spot, the get right spot for Liverpool. He's laying it, is Pavlos Laguretos. Pavlos, you have anything up tonight for clients or coming up this week? You gave some look ahead plays there. So how can folks become clients of yours over at sportsmemo.com?
Yeah, I have a couple of big plays loaded at my page over at SportsMemo. I have a 10% MLS max bet of the month, and it's been going great with this max bets. I'm now on a 5-1 run with this 10% max bets, and the 14-6 in all of them. In all 20 max bets last season, I had 24-6, and I also have another EPL top bet of the week. Which again 5-1 run, and I think this side in the EPL is gonna win and win easily. So these 2 big plays up on my page. You can head over and take a look.
sm.buzz/PL 5-1 run. He's seeing it well. Go ride with Pavlos Laguretos now. So thanks for coming on, Pavlos. Appreciate you. We will have you back. It's the tale of 2 halves, right? We had Dan Kaiser, short, sweet, to the point, and we had the loquacious, Pavlos Laguretos to close down the show. If you enjoyed the show, hop below. Let us know you agree with our experts. What are you thinking and what are you betting on tonight and as we move forward? And also, you really want to thank the guys? Go on over and grab some of their packages. You can get just for $2 Dan Kaiser's play tonight, or pay the extra $3 and get him the Insider's Room and Dion D'Amico. That's our Triple Play Tuesday at sportsmemo.com. So big thanks to our guests, Dan Kaiser, Pavlos Laguretos. For those guys, I'm Dan Alexander, and we'll see you Thursday on Sports Memo Today.